this activity is with an end goal that we develop a action plan for an organization which is trying to get ESG integrated within its operations. So I will give you the scenario and the objectives, and also what will be the deliverables by the end of this session by you, and us together we'll try to work it out. So I think you can all read the scenario, but I'll brief it again for you. The scenario is that we are a consultant for a multinational pharmaceutical company that is facing increasing pressure from both regulators and stakeholders, be it investors or customers, any other stakeholder group as well, to reduce its carbon emissions. And this company, to give you a picture of what this company is, this is operating in several states. It's a pharmaceutical manufacturing company, and also it obviously has a very complex supply chain. And if you need any further information to understand like revenue, employee size, and manufacturing, I can give you that as well. But first, let's try to understand the objective of the activity. That is, one, we will try to identify the key ESG issues for these people, and we will try to understand how these issues impact each stakeholder group, and then try to brainstorm potential strategies we can adopt together. Okay, so like I said, there will be in the end 4 deliverables from us by the end of this session. That is, one, we will try to conduct a mock materiality assessment. First, we'll identify the stakeholders, then conduct a mock materiality assessment, and then we will try to decide what are the actionable steps this company can take in the next 5 years. So the near term, objectives, and also the timeline of implementing each of this. And then we'll also understand, since most of you have gone through the entire ESG sustainability course, the KPIs we need to monitor to measure this. Once we set the objectives and the targets, that's fine. But what are the key KPIs we need to monitor so that we are able to measure and able to achieve these goals properly. Okay, so I hope the scenario is understood. Let me know if you want to know further about the company, like the other details. Or if it is enough, we can move forward. Yes, you will have to be interactive. It has interactive group activity in the title. Hello.
Yeah, let's move. Yeah.
Let's move. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I just, like I said, it's a pharmaceutical manufacturing company. If I have only decided this activity for 4 stakeholder groups, and if you can identify them, who would be the major stakeholders?
Obviously, supply chain.
Yeah, supply chain.
Regulatory, that is a FDA.
Right. And
consumers.
Sorry.
Clients,
Consumers. Yes.
And the employees.
Employees of the company.
Right. If you could give me one more, we can move.
Investors.
Yeah. Okay. So we will do this with 4 groups. That is internal stakeholders. That could be employees, the C-suite, the board, the decision-making bodies, and supply chain, investors, and customers or clients. So the activity here would be, I have highlighted, I've benchmarked from 4 different companies and brought in around 60 topics for you, which are ESG issues, 20 each in E, S, and G. So let's just have a discussion here itself and, list out material issues with respect to internal stakeholders, customers, investors, and supply chain. I hope you all have the document which I shared.
Yes.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to open the discussion for environment.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt again.
Yes, please.
I had a problem logging in. I mean, I was late by 20 or maybe 30 minutes. So can you please
Okay.
share anything that you've already shared?
Nothing was related to this. This activity just began like 10 minutes ago.
Actually, you just mentioned na, that everybody has a
Please
document.
check the chat, sir. In chat there is a
Ah,
document.
So I'll share it.
Alumni synergy document is there something.
I'll share it.
Yeah, okay.
Chat.
So what do you mean by internal? Internal is as in a company, as in this pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
What is the
Yes.
material issues?
Yes.
Yes.
As owner of the company, as an employee, what we think, I mean, we need to think ourselves as owners of the company, or board members of the company, or employees of the company. Then what we think are very important to us. Hope you
So
got the
you
point.
know the business. You will have a completely different perspective to any other stakeholder group.
Under this, first I think would be chemical thing for chemical management. If I am an internal person,
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
so for
For
me,
E, right?
yes.
So I'll list it.
Chemical management.
Waste management,
Waste management.
energy
Yeah.
conservation, water conservation.
Okay, probably yeah. Water and waste.
Yeah.
Be a safe working environment for us. Compensations.
Sorry, sir?
This should include hazardous also.
It's safe working environment, yeah.
That
A
is safe
chemical.
working
I think it will
environment.
come under chemical management, right?
Hazardous, probably there you can mention hazardous in brackets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Under each
So
thing, we have to mention 4 points.
yeah.
So
No,
as
I
That
part
think
was
of
the idea.
I
Because
think we have listed 4, no, ma'am?
yes, sir. For E internal, you have listed.
Yeah.
yeah. So for E internal S, I mean as individuals, what we think about social vertical, what
Skill
we think
development
are
of
important.
employees, diversity, skill development of the
Product
employees,
quality and safety.
Okay.
Yeah,
Product quality,
for
safety,
as a pharma company, yeah.
product quality, safety.
Um,
Anjanji, air pollution, yes, of course, that is important.
meeting global norms, export-oriented norms, etc.
Supply chain norms.
Supply chain labor practices.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Supply labor and supply chain is what they are saying.
And if it is social, then labor rights and fair wages.
The labor rights and
Labor rights and fair wages.
fair wages. Okay.
What human rights?
Human rights. The human rights part of labor rights. I mean, we can for now we can include.
And all these things, keeping the
Um,
export in also into mind, because whatever country the unit is exporting to, if there are any exports, then the laws of that particular the host country.
So as of now, I'm thinking on terms of Indian system, like what is more
Yeah.
important for India.
Okay.
And I was just thinking if it is GSK or maybe,
Because
another.
that is the companies from India, as we mentioned.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
case that we took is that the companies from India.
Or maybe they have a major stake in India, like they have a branch in India, which is like playing as an individual entity in India
Right,
now.
right.
No. This is an Indian company only. What we
It's
are
an Indian
considering.
company.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's an Indian company.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say all the manufacturing units are in India only.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the employee health and safety would be a major thing
Okay.
with
Right.
respect
That
to
is taken.
manufacturing.
Right.
That
We
is
have safety.
that is
Then if it
product
is
quality.
if it is India, then shouldn't access to medicine should be an important part?
Sure.
Right,
So,
agreed,
but
agreed. Very
I
important.
would ask a question. Are you thinking as an internal stakeholder here or as an, customer?
Okay, got it.
So, first let's do internal, then we can
So
come
then
to, because
stakeholder engagement will be important to me, because if my
Mhm.
stakeholder is not convinced on my social norms, then my
Mhm.
investment would be challenged.
So probably you mean to say investors?
Stakeholder engagement in the second
Stakeholder
part of the
engagement.
social part.
Okay, stakeholder
The next,
engagement. Go to,
Can I say community engagement, Poonam?
no,
community engagement will be on the terms of the other part. I mean,
Diksha, if you
stakeholder
can
would be the
go
investor.
up,
Huh?
pull up, please.
Yeah.
Go to
I
social
can.
page.
Yeah.
So
I have put
which-
stakeholder engagement.
Yeah. So here, stakeholder engagement, when we say, ma'am, it is primarily with respect to, at this stage, not in general, I'm saying. In this juncture, when we speak about stakeholder engagement as part of social, here we primarily give focus to local communities, not in general, as part of social when you say.
Okay, but no, I was thinking in terms of internal, like if we are thinking of the
That is for-
internality of the company.
So employee engagement, employee involvement, it comes under internal stakeholder engagement.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It can be employee training and development.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Training and development.
Training and
Okay.
development. Well-being programs.
Workplace culture.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So
If we are talking about the
take,
supply
again,
supply
workplace culture and all, you need to understand, you need to mention it as a director of the company, as an employee of the company. So in that perspective, if you are saying it, then we will add it.
Then product quality and safety is very important for us.
We have
as a
mentioned
Yeah.
it.
I've listed. Yes.
Human rights mentioned, employee health and safety mentioned. Okay, so 4 points have come.
Great.
Okay.
The social, is that the patent privacy or the patient privacy?
Patient, there is respect to
governance, no? Governance.
what we say, hospitals
That
and
is
all.
governance.
Governance.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we could go to G.
That is regulatory compliance.
Regulatory compliance. Yeah.
Risk management, if at all.
Okay, risk management,
Data privacy and security.
data privacy and security.
Right. Business
Corporate
practices.
governance and structure.
Which one, sir?
The last one.
Governance
Corporate
structure.
governance
Okay.
Structure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Internal controls and audits or tracks practices, would it come under one?
That is
We
compliance.
can add that, but already we have
compliances.
got 4.
That could
We
be
have
part of regulatory compliance.
Intellectual property management.
IPR.
We,
Yeah.
we can have that, but we already have got 4 for now as
Mhm.
internal stakeholders.
Internal control and audits was the one, right?
Mhm.
I don't think the internal stakeholders are like. Right. Yeah. So we've got our, internal.
Okay. So as
Let's-
customers, what we think that, okay, this company must be having as part of environment.
Carbon
Then only we
emissions.
would be buying it.
We'll think
Packaging
about
sustainability. We can
carbon
like,
emissions,
Carbon
Right.
emissions
soil
1.
contamination prevention,
Okay, contamination prevention,
Packaging sustainability.
packaging
Right.
sustainability.
renewable energy
I
adaptation.
think
Product life
eco-friendly
cycle.
product design,
Okay,
Yeah.
eco-friendly
because
product design.
customer is mostly interested in that.
Okay,
Right.
eco-friendly product design.
Again, the product life cycle, environmental.
Yes, product life cycle also.
Okay,
This.
Sir, biodiversity impact also including.
okay. So we'll be able to have only 4 for the here. So there are now 2 and 2 more.
Packaging and eco-friendly
Packaging,
design.
packaging and eco-friendly design. Yes,
Right.
putting together.
For customer
Maybe
hybrid,
education awareness.
Environmental education and awareness.
Oh,
for
Not
customers
very
hazardous
Not
waste
not
disposal.
that much.
Yeah.
So packaging is
Should I
one
say air
thing they say.
pollution, guys? Like,
Carbon
should
emission
I
is there,
say
no?
air pollution or
Yeah.
carbon emission? Which
Carbon
one?
emission was
emission?
told.
No.
It was told.
Why customer is concerned about that?
Good.
Customer might be concerned about the air pollution.
But the carbon
Or-
emission as well, right?
Will be more for investors.
Right.
Okay, you guys have split yourself, huh?
No, no.
Already. Okay,
No,
okay.
no, let's
No,
focus
we are
ourselves
customers
as
as an end
customers.
user or B2B?
End user.
End
End
user.
End
user.
user. So end user is not thinking about that.
End user is not thinking about
So
it.
he will think about more of his, the price factor and
Price,
his
yes, but
health
it is not
factor.
there.
It is not environmental thing.
So of affordability.
Yeah,
that will come under the
that is
financial
that come under
materiality.
social,
That is social.
maybe.
The
Here,
accessibility point will come here.
yeah, that
Is
hence
there something for brand
Access to
value
medicine.
also in for
brand
customers brand
value,
value?
that again, that will not be part of environment. So at this point in time, we need to speak from the perspective of environment only.
Sir, what about hazardous waste disposal for
Hmm.
customers environmental?
Right.
Right.
So it could be air as well.
Something
actually.
related to pollution and something which affects his health.
Right.
So
Yeah.
maybe
So
carbon energy or air
pollution,
pollution or soil
yes, we can-
contamination if it's near an
Right.
agricultural land. So that will
Right.
cultivate,
Right.
So
now-
as a customer, let's move to social.
Social. So what you think company must be addressing?
Product quality,
Product quality,
Access
okay.
to medicine.
Product quality, okay. Second
Access
one,
to medicine.
access to
public,
medicine.
yeah.
Patient education program,
Patient education program.
customer health and safety. I mean, what?
Transparency in clinical
transparency in
trials.
clinical trials.
Okay.
Yeah.
Transparency in
Because during
clinical
Corona,
trials.
we have seen that we
Yes,
wanted
right,
results.
right.
Now the Pfizer thing is coming out.
And
Right.
currently there is some
Correct.
ethical marketing practices that's an issue.
Ethical marketing.
Practices about medicines and stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, ethical marketing practices. It is there. Left hand side.
No. I got it.
Okay.
G.
So
The
G,
I
public
think,
health impact.
governance.
Okay.
Again, data privacy is one of them.
So data privacy, first one.
And then there are certain customer-centric governance practices
Go
that we
to governance position. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good. Shareholder rights.
share.
So that will be for investor, no?
Right.
Okay. So as a customer, what you think is important?
That is a regulatory compliance also.
Transparency in terms of the company offering the
Yeah, corporate
market
transparency.
pricing. Yeah, corporate
Okay.
transparency.
Okay.
Compliance
Ethical.
within customer.
Compliance with international
regulatory
standards.
compliance also.
Regulatory
Compliance
compliance
with
as
international
a
standards.
customer, are we really thinking that if the
No,
company is having regulatory compliance or not?
not
No,
necessarily.
we are not bothered.
Yeah.
Stakeholder communication.
I think
About what?
the same point will be put forth.
I mean, not
Reporting.
required. But
Stakeholder
Reporting
communication,
and disclosure.
probably yes.
Data privacy, security.
okay.
Business continuity plan will be part of governance.
Compliance with internal stakeholders will not be the one.
For the company, yes. Business
But
continuity.
for that is business continuity plan for investors.
Because that is something which you cannot go there. A third point that you mentioned.
Compliance with
internal
international standards.
internal stakeholders, that is
So it should we
customers
think
will be
like
external stakeholders. So we
Balaji,
I
can't.
didn't put that, Bala.
should we
I
think
put
like that
international
ki-
standards.
International standards.
Standards.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry.
Compliance with international standards.
Okay, so
Business
as customers, we
continuity
are
plan.
actually
Yeah, it should
expecting
be
it.
there because compliance should be there because supposing there is a medicine which is internationally not viable, but in India we are selling it.
Right.
Right. So
Like there
compliance
are
with
many,
international standards should
Many,
come.
there are many.
the metformin itself, actually, one form of it.
Yeah, for customers, then anti-corruption measures.
Probably no,
I
sir.
don't think.
Maybe.
At a later stage, people might start caring about the reporting and disclosure at a later stage. Not right now. So let's go with 3 only. Not much on the governance aspect. with respect to this.
Customer wants price only.
That will come under financial material. Right.
And ESG
Okay.
talking about non-financial indicators.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
which is the vertical Diksha, this one?
Investors.
Investors. Okay. As an investor, what I will be expecting from the company?
Renewable energy.
So here
Zero
we need to
targets,
understand two things.
renewable energy.
Guys, if you don't mind, here we need to understand a few things. As an investor, there are different objectives for me. Only financial profitability possible. Doesn't matter how the company is performing, whether it is giving me profits or not at the end of the day. Whatever the promised figure is there, ROI, let's say 20%, whether I'm getting it or not. The second set of customers, investors, probably those who will be expecting return on investment, as well some responsibility from the company towards environment, social, and governance. So here we are doing this by the concept or by the understanding that we are of the second category people, where our focus is not just profitability, but also sustainability. With respect to that, we need to think.
Bala, can I add one more point
Yes, please,
to
please,
what
please.
you said to the second category? I would also like to add that, you have to also think in the terms that if at all this is not adhered, or, let's say green buildings are, the certifications are not there. So the extra cost it might take, and what might be the long-term benefit of it, or the negativity if we don't do. So that also you need to think, being proactive in risk management. So in that line also.
So if you keep money in a company, will you be getting your returns or not? First thing, yes. For how long probably you may get it if company does not follow some standards, some rules, some policies.
Right.
So that is
what
one way
might
of
be
getting
the
things.
cost you are paying if you're not going through some kind of compliances? So that is also there.
Investors are more focused about the carbon tax. So here we can say the carbon emissions are concern point for them.
Environmental
Okay.
compliance, will it get
That is
everything?
what. Environmental compliance.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And carbon emissions.
So basically, I think the investors, to what extent the knowledge that is given to them from the sustainability team, that is something more important for the.
So education and awareness.
So product lifecycle environmental impact, will it come with chemical management? Because it's a chemical company.
Yeah, I think we can take this as an umbrella thing, product lifecycle.
Say, if I am coming from the IT company, life cycle is something, product life cycle is not important for me.
So this is a pharma company.
It's a pharma company.
Oh, sorry, got it. Mistake, sorry.
And sustainable sourcing of raw material, that is important for a company.
Right, right.
But I think the life cycle is important for investors, but I thought it is more important for
renewable energy adoptions.
This probably yes.
Resource efficiency.
Resource efficiency might be the
resource efficiency.
That is sustainable sourcing,
impact
right?
finance.
No, so once you're sourced, also there could be the entire flow wherein you are utilizing
The machines and the machinery parts
When
that
we
can
are
be,
done with
we can
4.
give.
Yeah. So
we're done.
Yeah. And now social. As an investor, what I'll be expecting that the company has to follow.
There should be access to medicine, availability of medicines for people. I mean, so more sales. Yeah.
Okay, access to medicine. But access to medicine, that is, okay, in one way we can take it.
Access to medicine, I mean, an investor, if it is like costly also, he will be looking at his profits. He would not want that the masses should have the product. He would want return ROI or return on investment.
So access to medicine in one way we can take it, but as a whole, that the object is in a little different way. It's more towards a bit of responsibility as well. So probably if you ask me, I don't think it is having more weightage in terms of material topic.
So stakeholder engagement, because a stakeholder investment.
Stakeholder engagement, yes.
Because he would want what is happening in the
community engagements.
So when I hear stakeholder engagement, it's primarily community engagement as well as social vertical. Yes, that is one thing we.
Employee training.
Employee training, maybe yes, because if they are well versed with the concept, then only they'll be able to produce quality products. So
And transparency in the clinical trials that they do, will that help?
Right. Probably we can think.
Fair trade
patient privacy.
So fair trade practices.
Fair trade practices, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, all human rights. Marketing practices, yeah.
Yeah. Governance as investors, what we expect.
Executives
Here there'll
compensation.
be a lot of points.
Yeah.
Executive compensation, shareholder
anti-corruption.
Anti-corruption.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. So
Business continuity planning.
Business continuity planning.
Already we have got answers, Riksha. Anti-corruption, business continuity planning, executive
board diversity
compensation,
and
board
independence.
diversity.
Compliance and international standards.
Corporate transparency.
So a lot of things have already come.
Intellectual property management.
So here
It's like
everything
everybody
looks
was
pertinent.
waiting for investor governance.
Yeah, here everything looks pertinent, no?
Yeah.
So everybody will want to be an investor.
Yeah.
What were the other things? Ethical.
And you take any four. That's fine. That's fine, I think. Because
I think supply chain management.
No, I think
No.
this time
Yeah.
compliance with international standards. This time
Right.
one of the person
Anything
said.
Corporate governance
ESG.
structure, sir.
So what is that?
The last one.
Last one, what is the future?
Yeah, structure.
Oh, the structure. Structure, that is not very important.
Done. So
okay, so last one.
Done.
Nowadays, sir,
Nowadays, even the investor asking for that ESG disclosure also.
Corporate transparency.
So if we are in supply chain, so now we are as suppliers.
As part of value chain, downstream, upstream, doesn't matter.
So here we are a supplier or a buyer. I mean, in what sense we have to look at the supplier?
Here in this entire thing, it is upstream as well downstream. Either buying, either we are selling.
So hazardous waste disposal.
To a company called ABC, which is into pharma, which is a pharma.
Sustainable sourcing of raw material.
Okay, sustainable sourcing of raw materials.
Transportation emission.
Okay.
Transportation emissions.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Sustainable sourcing of raw materials. How? I mean, with what perspective, sir? Because for example, probably I'm a supplier who is procuring some raw materials and selling it to company A, which is pharma. So if it is sustainable procurement, then I may be losing some money. I may not be wanting it to do.
Maybe to make the supply chain more robust and resilient, you need to have some backup and redundancy so as to reduce the risk, like some climate risk or some other risk.
So now the person who is doing the business
because they are supplying the raw material which having low carbon emissions.
Okay.
So we are preferring them.
Here, let us take one small assumption. Primarily, when we sell it to pharma company, then there will be a lot of confusion. Let's assume we are buying it from them. So when we sell it primarily as a company, I'm going to have some requirements from them. I'm going to have that upper hand generally. So, however, when I'm buying it, being somebody who is in the value chain, let's assume.
You mean more of an aggregator and selling it, the one who's at the end point selling.
Packaging sustainability will be important for me if it is a transport. No,
eco-friendly.
Supplier and customer, they will have a totally different world altogether. The expectation of a supplier from the pharma company and the expectation from the customers from the pharma company, they will be totally different, no, sir?
Right.
True.
So they should not be.
Any supply chain partner would expect to reduce their carbon emissions and energy consumption. That would be from the perspective of supplier as well as
when we say we are buying, not the end customer, so it's B2B. When we say pharma, there are APIs as well. It's not just the end product. So we need to understand a bit of business here. There are APIs, which are active pharmaceutical ingredients. if I am another pharma company who is manufacturing actual final medicine, let's say,
formulations, yeah.
then these APIs are required for me. So here I'm buying these pharma products to manufacture another pharma product. So it's not the end customer that we can think of. So customers we already discussed. Sir. Hope you got my point.
We discussed.
So I would always look for
consumer perspective. We discussed it already.
Consumer, the end user.
End user we already discussed.
Yeah.
Sir, what
So
I
product
see,
life cycle, environment impact.
Right.
Got it. And I think we can also consider awareness and education.
Right.
Right. Because the knowledge sharing is a very important
environmental activities.
Yeah. Knowledge sharing is very important when it comes to value chain. That is my idea. Okay, we can add that, and two more.
So probably one is
packaging sustainability.
Packaging sustainability also there.
Right.
Environmental audit is something which we can think which is not there. Environmental audit is also important from this perspective.
Resource efficiency.
Right.
Bala, I think I just split up that point into many points.
Okay.
The energy consumption, if I may say so.
No.
Consumption.
No.
Okay.
But the supply chain partners
it will help
would
in reducing
want
the
to...
cost of the product, yes, but directly, indirectly.
No, but that would reduce the scope 3 emissions of the partners.
How am I concerned as a customer?
Transportation emissions.
No, we are talking about supply chain partners.
Transportation emissions, what do you say?
Yes, transportation.
Yeah.
That is very much important.
Yes.
It either can be part of scope 1 or scope 3. However, they are part of the overall cycle.
Right.
Yeah. So as part of social,
Should be patient education program or something.
Diversity, I would say.
So again, we are going to the end, probably end.
We are going to the formulation side. Okay.
So let's not go to them.
Product quality and safety.
Yes.
Fair trade.
Labor practices.
Fair trade, yes.
Diversity.
Diversity of what?
Diversity of
employees.
Not employees, of supply chain partners.
I mean, in terms of when we say diversity in vendors, probably if you can explain what kind of diversity can we have.
What I'm saying, they're not a single kind of vendors. Include
from different communities and different areas.
So vendors should be from all the communities.
There is something when it comes
supply
to
chain labor practices. It should be then.
Yeah, supply chain labor practices. Yes. Otherwise, diversity as part of different communities or something with respect to choosing somebody, that is not a very important factor. In general,
but at times you have to encourage SMEs as well, no?
It would be very I would be
so
interested.
That is not a discrimination. Whoever is going to give you better services, there is something where you can go.
No.
Also, it is encouraged to do local sourcing.
Local sourcing, yes, probably.
Product quality and safety.
Safety, where it is mentioned. Say, yes.
Product quality and safety is important.
Should I add one more point to this and say, local sourcing?
Local sourcing, okay, but is that a material topic to me? Local sourcing is okay from the perspective of local communities, but is that a material topic to me?
Okay, right.
That is something we need to understand. Local sourcing, okay.
Right.
As an organization, that is important, but is that material to me when I'm part of supply chain?
Got it.
So how about transparency in clinical trials and EHS?
Sorry, sir.
Transparency in clinical trials and EHS.
Transparency in clinical trials, yes, important.
I'm the investors.
This is pharmaceutical company, so employee training and development also.
Again, transparency in clinical trial goes to an end product, right? If it also formulation, not on an API.
API, not really, of course. No. Of course, not really.
I think we can close with 3.
Yes, right.
I'm totally fine.
What about fair trade practices for?
I've added.
Okay.
So stakeholders engagement.
So what about employee training and development?
Always.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, how will it directly
I mean, I'm
affect?
just asking. What about it? Any thoughts?
Marketing practices, will it affect in any way?
Customer, yeah.
Not really. I mean, it will. I mean, most of the aspects have effect, but we need to look at the prioritized effects. The training and development of employees. I mean, any thoughts on this?
Because that will efficiency of the supply chain. So if the employee is trained and developed regularly, so you can
So probably
increase
that will help the organization which is manufacturing it, not the supply chain maybe.
But
if
I think instead of employee training and development, can I
supplier
say
training and
knowledge sharing?
development, maybe knowledge sharing is already
Yeah,
added.
knowledge sharing, not added.
Innovation, yeah, innovation.
That
In the supply chain, knowledge is not important. See, there are set of customer on the SS belt. There are certain labor forces that are already doing it. So they are like in a monotonous way. If there somebody is making a certain product, he will keep on doing that. So he doesn't need any extra knowledge. He has already been bought into that.
Maybe the company can share the technology with their vendors that will help them improve their practices.
Community engagement would help basically because it's a chemical industry. I mean, pharma, world drugs is a chemical industry.
That is okay, but when I'm a supplier or when I'm a value chain organization, how is it going to affect me?
In case of emergency.
I
Suppose
think we can
during transportation, if there is any incident, so that will that time community engagement
of
will
course,
help.
Sir, but that is not very prime for me.
Okay.
So that is okay. I mean, some sort of help, community help, responsibility, that is okay, but that is not very prime for me, sir.
Right.
So I think we can move on.
I think I can say knowledge sharing with suppliers, just in case, putting it out.
Employee training and development, not exactly. I just brought it. That is not the
knowledge
material issue.
Sharing or
knowledge
technological
sharing also,
knowledge sharing.
Technological knowledge sharing.
Right.
Yeah.
Bala, but I would be more concerned. So, for example, I'm a customer who is buying from a vendor who is an API supplier. And since my DMF says that he's the only sourceable supplier, so I am stuck because I've registered maybe with an FDA or so. So anything happening to that vendor would be a problem for me.
Definitely, sir, definitely.
So is it not that any engagement or anything that the vendor is doing from his perspective is important in terms of supply chain is concerned?
Right, sir. When we are buying from them, when we are buying some goods from a specific supplier, then it is important.
And from the supply chain perspective,
yes, it is important, sir.
So don't you think any stakeholder engagement is of importance in terms of social ground?
So stakeholder engagement here
I
we
was
are
thinking to add it in
from the
governance.
perspective of as an organization we are thinking, but in this case we are not organizations. Last part, if you look at it, is not the company. Let's say ABC. It's about ABC.
Okay.
It's about ABC. It's not ABC. Probably we can move on, Viksha. Governance. Last topic.
Yeah.
BCP is important.
BCP, business continuity plan.
Ethical supply chain management.
Ethical supply chain management, yes.
Okay.
Supply chain transparency, I mean, everything is there.
Ethical, I mean, that will more or less little part of that. Any other topic, maybe?
Again, supply chain, again, international standards.
What, sir? Sorry?
International standards, compliances to that.
Okay.
What would be business continuity planning?
Business continuity planning, to an extent, we can have this, wherein me being somebody who is buying, let's say, some APIs or some goods from XYZ company.
Yes.
So here, I'm on the other side. What if this manufacturing company failed to supply some products that are relevant to me?
So I should always have a plan B or a plan supplier or a buyer.
For example, there's a hurricane or let's say there's flood and they are not able to continue their operations. Then what?
Right. or at times, you know, the products are delayed and my line is made up and my labor force is waiting. This is cost to me. So I would immediately require the resources from other partner.
True. And though BCP is something we can add, but I'm not completely pro towards it. It's not the utmost important factor initially. That is important. I'm not saying, I'm not denying that, but yes. So just, for learning purpose, we are doing it. So a couple of things that we can accept. Yeah, Viksha, I think we are done.
Are we?
I think
one more point.
So one more point. Okay.
How about risk management?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And probably that should be the first one, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just give me 1 second. Yeah, if we could find anything very common in this and we could highlight, we'll have the major material issues. The
So
10 or 12.
So this is hello.
Environmental impact.
Hello.
This was one of the things which was repeated again and again, right?
Shrikant.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Balaji.
Yes, sir.
So this is a materiality assessment because here we consider only non-financial indicators.
Right.
If we are considering financial, then it is a double materiality.
Right, sir. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
so for ESG, we need to consider materiality assessment or double materiality.
So initially, material assessment is what we are doing. Double materiality is something which is not really in line with Indian market as of today. Very few organizations maybe are doing it. However, financial materiality also is required. Going forward, that will also be integrated. As of now, financial materiality is done as a separate assessment with respect to only financial things. No combination or no integration between financial and non-financial as of today. I mean, very few organizations are doing it.
So my question is, how ESG experts will add value in that? Because
so if we go with a double materiality, then it will be little added advantage from the perspective of financial integration as well. Because at the end of the day, for example, I'm going to give you a solution and it is not viable. There is no ROI. Then I need to work on it again. So probably if we work together, if we work in line with financial expectations, financial support as well, and if you can bring something concrete in the first place, so that is little better.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying it is the best one, but little better, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we are looking for a common thing, Viksha, then chemical management, would it come under all parts? Because though we have not highlighted everywhere, but knowledge of chemical management, maybe not for customer, but for internal investor and supply chain, will it be important?
So probably he can, here we can say, hazardous waste management is one important factor.
That is a major concern for pharmaceutical.
Yeah, that is something which we can
and
combine.
Product life cycles.
Yes.
Yeah, I've highlighted already.
Yeah.
3 for environment I've highlighted. We can do 3 for social, which are common, and then
so product quality,
agenda.
Product quality and safety.
For the project listed in agenda.
The product quality and safety that is there on 3 areas.
And fair trade practices.
Fair trade practices.
Agenda.
And
so in internal we consider only employees, right?
Sorry, sir.
So in internal we consider for internal stakeholder we consider only employees
and owners, employees, whoever
and
is
board member and board member.
Yeah,
board members.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And governance, data privacy, risk management, corporate governance structure. 3 are the core topics.
Got it. So,
whether if we go further.
yeah, these are the highlighted, just for everybody's reference.
Yeah.
We'll be sharing this document. Yeah. So here, now that we have identified our major issues, and once we start integrating ESG, how should we go about year on year? Roughly, 3 activities, if you could give me, year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, and 5. Then we can have an action plan for 5 years. So what activities do we do?
Already you made that common things. So based on that common thing, we need to make a plan.
Definitely, yeah, based on that common thing.
First will be my product life cycle.
Okay. Per product emission, reduction of it.
Product life cycle in all terms.
Okay.
What is my current status of my product line in terms of ESG? And in coming years, what are my goal sets for 5 years? How am I under the standard of 2070 net zero or 2030?
Yeah,
how am I wanting to go from, improvement of my product life cycle?
Emission reduction, waste are the primary factors as per this.
Correct. Environment
So what
compliance.
would be the activity you would be doing for that? Is something else?
Now you are a consultant and you have to integrate ESG and you have to make it sure that we are achieving the objectives over a period of 5 years. So what we do?
So water conservation, energy
sir,
conservation.
Sir, if you don't mind, our thought process are restricted to environmental vertical for now. It's not about environmental vertical. As a consultant, as an ESG consultant, so what will be the steps that we need to integrate?
So first is my government structure, the last point, which was the
setting up governance structure.
Corporate governance structure.
Okay.
Got it.
So board setup picture. And board setup. Okay.
I'll do a baseline assessment. So
what's that?
Yeah, baseline assessment.
Baseline assessment
should be
okay.
Done. I'll create some policies, ESG policies needs to
we
be
can
policies.
do scope 1 and 2 for this year.
With respect to the goals, yeah.
Yeah.
The targets also.
ESG policies, right?
COC, SCOC and policies.
Yeah.
Code of conduct, supplier code of conduct and policies.
Then a few trainings that needs to be lined up for the first.
Correct.
Capacity building.
Capacity building, yes.
Policy we can.
Policy is already there, sir.
Done.
Then I had to create some task force or maybe I don't know whether it forms
Do
part
I
of the
need to
board setup.
align my
That is
stakeholders
comes
also?
under capacity building, trainings and development.
Okay, got that.
I think
stakeholder management.
Targets.
Viksha,
first year,
after scope 1, scope 2, probably you can have targets as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not for
in
everything.
the first year.
Maybe not for everything that's practically possible, but if you have some data, then only we can think of targets.
Okay.
Budget allocation, budget, especially in
budget probably from the financial activity that we will discuss, sir. Here, exclusively from ESG perspective, probably if we can understand as a consultant what we would be needing.
Buy-in from the management.
Sorry, sir.
Buy-in, yes, buy-in. That is comes under.
So buy-in has already happened. That's why buy-in has happened. That's why
we need certain data collection.
So that is under baseline assessment.
Data management,
but
that
is under baseline assessment.
Baseline assessment and everything is coming. No?
Baseline assessment for certification
is different, and then
is different.
Management is different.
Collection.
Data management structuring would be one.
That is a different activity. It's important.
Certification.
Training setups, training certificate, training internal certifications.
That is already part of capacity
awareness.
That's already part of capacity building. And second thing, baseline assessment. Again, that shall. If you ask me, that needs to go to second year. Even for baseline assessment, we need some data.
Later we can identify gaps. That's what you're saying.
Yes. So probably
first year we can do gap.
First year gap assessment.
Yeah, gap assessment you can do. ESG gap assessment.
Yeah, that would be with respect to the standards and benchmarks.
Standards, frameworks, with
And
competitors, maybe.
yeah,
Yeah, I think okay.
we can
But
do
Bala, I have
ESG.
one query. While we are talking about ESG, then don't you think like for you need budget in year one, because even
So
if I have
definitely, sir.
to
Definitely, sir.
even if I have to
When
engage consultants in this, I will need budgets, right?
definitely, sir. So let me give you a little clarity on this. So this plan we are making and we are going to integrate it on plan that we can make, but we are going to integrate it only if budget is approved. It's not the plan that we are planning. It's something, let's assume we are going to
Yes.
make it
So it is
happen.
already approved one.
Here there are two ways that we can understand. One, as a consultant, how you plan for it, and then you speak about budget. Accordingly, you may make some changes. Two, it is approved. Now you are making the plan, and you whatever plan you make it, you make it. You will get the budget approved.
So in this case, I'm assuming that the budget is like, you have an approval from leadership,
yes, sir,
and you have to create a plan.
Of
Correct?
course,
That's the assumption.
There are two things. One, I make a plan and I go to my leadership for budget approval. Possible. Two, I go for budget approval and then I go for a plan. Here, if I go to my both the cases, there are some pros and cons. Second case, if you look at, sir, I'm going to my management and I got the approval of budget. For how much? For what plan? What is the plan and how much you want? You don't have anything. So both the cases, it is something which you need to take these two activities hand in hand. Let's say I have got the plan, but there is no budget. Then I have to amend it. As per the budget, I need to make my changes. So in both ways, there is no concrete output that we can get. But primarily, if you ask me, plan is something important, and then budgeting is something which we can go for. Without plan, without objective, without goals, then probably budgeting is something which you cannot decide or define.
Correct.
So how much budget can you ask for? Hope you're getting the point, sir, Sandeep ji.
Yeah, got it. But then fine. We'll move ahead.
Yes, sure.
I still have some queries, but let's move ahead.
Yes, sure. So probably first year, once the data management structuring is done, then ultimately the output of every year shall be the sustainability reporting, the actual disclosure, the data. So the last part is sustainability disclosure. And if you are really, making it, what we say, ethical, then third party audit. We call it as external assurance.
First year we will do that external.
No.
Year one onwards we can get it done. Year one onwards we can get it done. If it is not made mandatory.
From second year.
No, sir. External assurance you can get it done in the first year only. The moment you write the sustainability report,
okay,
of course you will be writing it in the second year. Of course, first year you are going to write it. Second year only you are going to write it. But for the first year you are going to write it.
But we are going to make the preparation ground for second year and first year only.
Right. So probably in that case, in that way of understanding, what we say, reporting, let's keep it in second year. Only data management, we can keep it in first year. So even in the first year also, why we are keeping it? Okay, for now it is clear. Now, why we are having sustainable reporting and assurance in the first year? Because if the company is established in the very year, then probably we would not be having data. Otherwise, for example, company is established in 2014, but for the first time we are going to integrate ESG, we can have some sort of data at least from the previous year.
You can show the progress as well. I mean, progress can be shown.
Yes. So still we can have something written for the previous year. If you are writing something, then we can get it assured. So that is the reason why we are having reporting as well assurance in the first year.
Right.
And assurance is something which is up to you, whether you would want to go for it or not. Right?
Right.
So probably second year, since we speak about baseline year, and baseline, again, it is a little early, agreed, but maybe from our understanding. As a consultant, if you ask me, I'll go to baseline target setting only in the year 3. I do not want to touch it in the year 1 and 2, if you ask me. Reason, if there is not much data, then we can't do a lot of analysis. If we cannot do a lot of analysis, if there is no much output, then the targets will not be viable.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you ask me, 3 years, maybe in 4th year, even better. 4th year, even better. But 3rd year, at least, we need to initiate. All right? So we need to understand what we are doing and how we need to get it done. So probably in the 2nd year, we can go with, okay, so that's baseline here.
But Indian government asking for companies before 2030, the targets, they need to, publish targets.
Of course,
all.
They're asking to whom? They're asking to top 1,000 companies, and they have been disclosing their data since 2012.
Okay.
And in 2012, they made it mandatory based on BRR for first 100 organizations. In 2015, they increased it to 500. 2019, they increased it to 1,000. So now today, if I have to set up my baseline, it's pretty much possible for me, even if I'm one of the 1,000 listed entities.
Bala, do we have the information about this pharma company? What is their annual turnover and how many years it is operating in
it
India?
has been in the market
10,000
for 20
crores.
years, maybe 25 years. And it's about 10,000 crores, let's assume.
Roughly.
And they have got more than 5,000 employees.
Are
And
they
they are
into
listed,
like
and they are listed
generic
as well.
medicines?
They are into drugs as well. Let's say into API, generic medicines, everything. Not really. You can assume. Let's assume. Okay, we need something. Okay, they're into APIs, generic medicines. Let's assume.
And they are into that 150 category for SEBI listing this thing.
They are privately limited company.
They're private limited company. Actually.
Yeah, no.
It will not come under that. Yeah. They can do BRSR.
They are a limited company. They are a limited
Right.
company. But still, doesn't matter if you are a limited company. If you are a listed company, then only it's important for you.
You're doing a BRSR comprehensive or a light for them?
BRSR is not mandatory for them. This I can tell you.
Maybe, yeah.
Be light, it's up to you whether you do want to integrate or not. So now what can we do in year 2?
So
maybe policies review.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So whatever we have in year 1, we'll have to go to year 2. Yes. Whatever.
And then do we want to list this company as that 12 points in
So now you may go for UNGC,
yes.
what was integration. And maybe in the 2nd year or maybe 3rd year, you may go for signatory status. So first, let us integrate before applying for signatory status. Let us have some data with us. If you ask me, this is what I suggest.
So let's study the compliance of the internal working
absolutely.
of the
Let's understand what is UNGC and what is required by UNGC. Let us integrate it now. Once let's have something concrete, then go to UNGC, which makes our lives easier.
An action plan also required in 2nd year to implement within the company?
Yes, definitely. So a lot of things are there, but in the next slide, we summarized it. So strategy development, continuous monitoring, that is important. Training and development, I mean, whatever we have in 1st year, everything is relevant to year 2. Continuous monitoring, they are important, of course. At the end of the day, sustainability reporting and assurance will be the closure. So probably
weirdly,
now,
I think I forgot continuous spelling. Am I?
It's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So probably now in year 3, we can actually think of baseline setting and target setting.
I'll remove this here.
Then remove there and have that here.
Science-based targets?
Not really. That will be in the 4th year if you ask me.
Target setting.
Target setting.
Eventually, we'll scale those activity and integrations, right?
Of course, sir. I mean, this is something which we are randomly doing it. When you actually go onto the company, there will be a lot of things that you need to do.
But do we have to declare any frameworks that will be taking?
So as part of your sustainability reporting, generally we go with GR and SASB, which is a globally accepted framework. Since it is not a listed company and not something which is as part of first top 1,000 companies. Hence, BRSR is not relevant. Okay. And in India, another framework is there, IR, which is relevant, but that is again SEBI requested top 1,000 entities to adopt. There's a request, that's not mandatory. So primarily,
which one?
IR, integrated reporting.
Okay.
That is not mandatory, but SEBI requested top 500 organizations in the year 2017 to adopt. It was not mandatory. It was just a voluntary thing. If you want to, you can. And that is the reason why, if you look at top 500 companies today, most of the reports will be found in the form of IR rather GRI.
Is this company looking for a listing or an IPO?
Let's say it's looking. I mean it's a assumption.
But
so
how it comes
assume.
in under ESG?
Sorry?
But how it come under ESG?
Because if it is looking if it is looking for this IPO thing, then it has to make under the compliance of the ESG norms, certain ESG norms.
Yes. Even if it is not part of, even if it is not going for IPO or something, still it does require what we say ESG. And if you look at one topic that we learned today, CS3D. So if you are exporting your goods or services to European companies, then you have to follow something at least. And if you look at RBS requirement, then you have to follow ESG to borrow some money from bank or any other financial institution.
Bala sir.
Yes, Giriji.
Could you provide us the list of that all ESG specific acts, rules, and guidelines at one place?
I cannot promise you, sir. To be honest with you, I cannot promise you, but we will try to do it. I mean, I'll sit with my team and I'll check if we can do it, because there are a lot of things.
Because everything is scattered, man.
Yes. Because there are a lot of things.
Environmental wise, I think I might be able to help you.
Okay.
E aspect. Let me share a few documents. But
we will see,
overall ESG.
Yeah, we can't promise you, sir. We can't promise you.
And it's very evolving also.
That is a project. I think, Giriji, that is a project that you can take and share it with us, yeah?
Yeah, that is a great, sir. That is great, sir, Girish, sir. That is great. To be honest, that is great. I'll be happy, sir.
Advisor and consultant.
Yeah. So probably moving forward, I mean, everything what we do in 1 and 2 will have to be there in 3. So probably here we can give more focus towards energy, water, waste,
energy efficiency.
Yeah, diversity, local community management.
Stakeholder engagement aspect as well as regarding these target settings, policies.
Carbon emissions, that's part of target setting. I mean, generally when you look at baseline setting, SBTI, I mean, we refer to emissions. Otherwise, target setting can be anything. So here we came from the thought process. I didn't add energy. Otherwise, emission. Otherwise, emission is very important from year 1.
So if we are assuming that target setting is like waste disposal or emission or soil management, then everything will come under target setting.
Target setting, yes.
Most of the environmental.
Not just environment, but also social. Target setting is not only for environment.
Bala, value chain will, because we in year 2 we spoke scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, which will be our value chain, upstream, downstream, where this will fall?
That is scope 3, sir. That is also something which you can start in year 2 or year 3. Sir, this is something which we are randomly taking. It's not that this is the actual scenario. So, for example, you are working with any company which is already having some systems in place. They have got their value chain organized. Year 1 onwards, you can integrate value chain. So, for example, there is a company A which is having some documentation, some rules and regulations where you shall not provide any hazardous products without any sophisticated packaging. Though they don't have any supplier code of conduct, but they have got some rules and regulations. Still, you can start it initiated in the year 1. So if you look at COC, SOC, it is starting from year 1. So it is about company, what you have got, what you don't have. Depending on that, you need to take actions. So scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, you can calculate from year 1, or you can push it to year 3, or you can push it to year 2, depending on what you have and what you don't have. Right, sir?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So probably training and probably training and development targets, or maybe targets for health and safety targets. Maybe, for example, your LTIR is, let's say, 1.4. How to bring it to 0, or maybe 0.5 in next 5 years, and then in further 5 years.
Sorry, please continue.
Yeah, further 5 years, let's say 2035, 0 LTR, and let's say fatalities. Today, the company is having 10 fatalities. Let's say last year they were having 10. I mean to say 5, 4, 6, 3. This is the kind of fatality pattern. Now I can have a target to reduce it to 2 by 2028. By 2025, I can have a target to reduce it to 0. So target setting. Its target is not only for environment, but also for social. Okay. Even for that, you need to have baseline. So baseline, if it is absolute target, then you may not be needing any baseline. But if it is not absolute target,
no one can take target like this, sir. From 5 to 2, he need to take 5 to 0.
So 5 to 2, I'm saying next 5 years. No. 0 by next 10 years. That's what I said.
No, 0 only.
0 only.
Yes. Aim for not allowed 5 to 2.
Okay.
So when you will take, sir, Balaji, when you take it from 0, then you can assess that in 5 years till which level you will reach.
Of course. So when we set a target, there is end target, there is medium, there is short term, there is medium, there is long term. Yes. So even when you look at emissions, let's say net zero.
For emissions and all other targets are like that. Okay, but for safety,
we don't. Okay, sir. Okay, maybe, sir. So I'll check it and I'll change my statements. Thank you for adding this.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Like for the fatality and the incidents that happen in a chemical industry should be 0. Like these things are represented to be 0 only.
For all companies?
Yeah, mainly for the manufacturing industries.
For targets.
Okay.
Process industries.
Okay, sir.
Are these all some EHS guidelines or what? I mean, how
EHS guidelines.
Achha.
Yeah. So likewise, we can take things up. And year 4 and 5 is primarily about monitoring, review, and taking necessary actions based on what you have done during the 3 years.
But Bala, the third year when we are setting targets and we are, implementing those sustainable practices, do you think we can apply for EcoVadis and any other recognition or awards?
That is, even from the year 1, you can do that. Achha. When you are integrating ESG for any company in the year 1, generally, no newborn company will be going for ESG. Generally, at least you must be having your presence from last 3, 4, 5 years, maybe at least 1 year presence.
Correct.
In general, I'm saying. So even if
we have some standard GMP guidelines,
yeah. So you can have some data, at least basic data. Still, you can go for EcoVadis. Still, you can
for EcoVadis, you can go at first year only.
Yeah, first year you can go. No problem. Anytime you can go.
Because it is a first it is a self-declaration.
Right. Anytime you can go for that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably Viksha, if you can move on further. So if you can show them actually what we prepare. Because 4 and 5 more or less is about continuous monitoring and all. So all these factors already we discussed. So this is what we prepare in general. It's not that this is the exact strategy that is to be implemented or integrated, and it does not work even for the company, even for the assumptions that we did consider so far. It does not. It is not going to work. There's a lot more information than what we just thought of today is required. It is just to give you a way, a thought process in order to how we can actually go about 5-year plan, maybe 3-year plan in terms of integration.